No one from my family showed up to my wedding because I married my sister's crush. My sister and my husband met in college. She developed a crush on him immediately and talked about him constantly. They became close friends, and she invited him and their friends to spend Boxing Day with our family that same year. That's when I first met him, and we ended up having sex that night, which made me feel terrible. Over time, my sister moved on and met her future husband, whom she married last summer. During those years, my husband and I would meet occasionally. Once, he confessed that he loved me, but we both felt powerless to change our situation. We both tried dating other people, but I couldn't picture myself with anyone else, which led to short, unfulfilling relationships for me. We reconnected officially at my sister's wedding, where she had invited all her college friends. My husband and I rekindled our connection, and he asked me to stop avoiding him. We started secretly dating, and a year later, he proposed. This was when I had to come clean to my family. I've never experienced such intense hatred and isolation in my life. I lied to my family, telling them we met at my sister's wedding and hit it off. I didn't tell them about the almost decade-long love I had for him or the annual meetings that were the highlights of my life. My sister, now happily married with a baby, told me she hated me and wanted nothing to do with me. My family also condemned me, believing I'm a terrible person. My husband told me he didn't care about a wedding if my family not showing up would hurt me. We have wasted many years and that we didn't choose to fall for each other. He wanted me to be his wife. I still sent invitations to my family, but nobody showed up. Only my friends and my husband's family. I wish they could forgive me for finally choosing my happiness. Edit. I'm getting a lot of questions about telling the whole story. I don't know what more I should have written here other than this. Maybe I didn't do a good job about my sister's crush? My sister is outgoing and she was always open with her thoughts and feelings, so her crush on my husband was a well-known thing to us sisters and mother. And it was known for the longest time. That's why. 1. If they have known about me and him going back longer than what I've said, believe me, they would have confronted me long time ago, given their strong reaction after I told them, even after all these years. They wouldn't be silent if they knew something was up. Also, they were really shocked and felt that I betrayed my sister and hurt her feelings because he's an old crush and we don't date each other's crushes, let alone marry them. 2. I misjudged my sister's crush. We all knew she was in love and that she was hurt when he didn't reciprocate, but I thought by the time she met her husband she was over him. Now I'm not sure. 3. I haven't spoken to my sister's husband in months, but from what I've heard, he's not happy about her reaction and things aren't going so well with them. This is also added to why my family is angry, because I caused the rift between my sister and brother-in-law. We are 4 sisters, I'm the second oldest and my sister in question is the youngest. All 4 of us are of similar age and closer were anyway than best friends. This adds more because she feels really betrayed. I really hope I filled all the missing information now. Anyway, I'm going to send an email to my family tonight and include the whole truth. It's my last attempt to redemption. If they still don't want anything to do with me, I will leave them be and move on with my life and try to find solace in my new family. Thank you all for listening. Update. Hi everyone. I thought I could make an update about my post since I received a lot of advice about coming cleaning to my family about when and how I started dating my husband. Sorry it's very long, but at least nobody can complain that I've left out some details. Many asked about the full story because my mother's reaction was so strong. I have tried to explain it in the comments. My sister is the youngest and everyone's favorite, and her crush on my husband was well known, and when he didn't reciprocate her feelings my mom was very hurt for her sake. As for the rest, they just do what mom says since she's the matriarch of the family. I would have understood their reaction if they knew the whole truth because I will never forgive myself for what I did. My only comfort is that before we spent that night together, my husband told me that he never liked my sister that way and he wouldn't be with her no matter if I was with him or not. He kept saying that and that he saw her as a sister even later throughout the years. Now to the update. As I said, many of you suggested that I should come clean. And there are pros and cons. Pros is that it's the right thing to do, and if my sister wants to hate me, she has the right to know the full extent of my betrayal. I will never pretend what I did back then was right. I just fell for him. Is that a good enough excuse? And seeing that I still love him so many years later, it was real from the beginning. Cons is that it would probably hurt my sister even more and probably jeopardize her marriage even more if it turns out she's still hung up over my husband. So I wrote a long email to my mother telling her everything and asking her what I should do. I texted her to go read it. That was last night. This morning she called me and was so cold. She didn't ask how I've been, didn't congratulate me, didn't ask about my husband. She was on point and warned me about telling my sister anything. She said that my brother-in-law has moved out from their home and is asking for divorce. So if I told my sister everything now, it will only make it worse for her. She said that I'm not allowed to contact my sister in any way and for any reason. I should leave her alone and move on with my life. She said that she couldn't believe her eyes when she read my email and how horrible I actually have been towards my sister. Worse, that I thought my mom's coldness made me understand how much I've hurt my family. I apologized about everything. I apologized for my sister and for breaking our family. She said, "Is there anything else?" "Fine, goodbye then." Later my oldest sister called me. She has always been the gentlest and she told me that she missed me and that mom told her everything. The separation between my little sister and her husband is serious. They have been fighting for months now and he left on my wedding day because my sister was very angry and crying all day. Big sister said that they didn't want to bother me with these details in my honeymoon. I asked her if she was angry at me and she said that none of them actually is, maybe except little sister, but that I should give it time. I've talked to my husband now about everything and I asked him if we have messed up. He just comforted me and told me to be patient, but I don't know. Our marriage started with hardship and at the cost of one of my favorite people and her husband. I'm so sorry. New update. I have had lunch with my brother-in-law today. Good evening everyone. I thought I might make a new update now, but I don't think it's important enough to put it on true of my chest and bother everyone, so I will put it here on my page. Many of you who are asking for more updates will see it hopefully. My brother-in-law texted me yesterday asking to see me. I agreed because I wanted to see what he's thinking and if I could help in any way. When we met he looked tired and miserable. He had my niece with him. I broke down crying because I haven't seen her before. I wasn't sure if I could ask to hold her, but he didn't even hesitate in placing her in my arms. She's the spitting image of my little sister. So beautiful. He asked me to tell him everything and to be honest. When I finished my story, he told me that he never liked my husband, or rather never liked his wife's obsession with him. He said she always talked about him, followed him closely on SM and automatically hated every woman he dated. My sister never really was in contact with my husband and she never called, texted or met him, but she watched him closely. She commented when he gained weight or lost weight, grew beard, gained muscles. And all while her husband was displeased and showing how uncomfortable he was with it. He asked her not to invite him to the wedding, but she insisted on it. Now he said she was yelling that it was her fault that we met each other because she invited him. She should have listened to her husband. So now he had enough and unfortunately he can't see a way back. He cried and told me he feels like he's letting his baby down, and I cried so much for all three of them and because I felt guilty too. I don't understand why she's doing this. She had an amazing husband who adored her. And a baby she was dreaming about since we were teenagers. I asked him if he could just give her time to come out of her grief, but he just shook his head. Afterwards he congratulated me and wished me good luck and left with my niece. I emailed mom everything, maybe she could help my sister. I haven't got any answer yet. I am not gonna pressure her to answer me. I will just let it go and see what the future is hiding for us.